Rogers TV, Durham Region North.
Welcome to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm your host, Jackie Hermans. We have quite the show for you, and it's everything to do about Black History Month. And our first guest, we're going to go right into it, and I'm going to introduce you to Selena Caesar-Chavannes. Selena, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, well, I'm really excited about this app. So you have created an app called Maximizing You. Can you give us a summary about what this app is all about and why it's important for us?
Yeah, so, I'm now the senior advisor of equity at Queen's University. And over the last couple of years, I've been really trying to figure out a way to personalize or humanize this conversation that we're having about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so for a few years, I've been creating this leadership development sort of app. It was a book first, and now it's an app that's designed to promote sort of asynchronous learning of key leadership competencies. And I've included these various concepts of diversity, equity, and inclusion into it to make a real personalized approach to developing your leadership competencies as someone in business or entrepreneurship, but also to understand it from an equities perspective so that we are, including people and making sure that they feel welcomed and belonging in your organization.
Okay, so people who would benefit from this, just from you explaining this, I would think HR departments, I would think managers, supervisors, and what about even parents too, right?
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, this is just for everybody. So I say it's for the stay-at-home mom, it's for the manager, it's for the person that's just starting out their career. These lessons are everything that I learned as an entrepreneur and in politics. And when I was an entrepreneur, I used to write these little notes down, how to get rid of imposter syndrome, how to network properly, how to overcome fear, and then write down those lessons, but also the exercises or the homework that you need to do to develop that competency. That is what is included in the app.
So it's about self development. As well as building relationships and communication and releasing distortions of thought patterns that would have us treating someone in a different way because of distortions, right? So it's retraining ourselves.
It's a lot of retraining, but it's retraining yourself first. So you cannot expect to have equity or love or compassion or anything in the outside if you don't have it on the inside. So this tool also includes a lot of self-reflection. So when you are developing those skills around communication, around networking, are you continuously using your biases to select people that you want to have conversations with? Or are you checking your biases in order to have those unusual conversations with the unusual suspects, is what I call them, so that we're developing that sort of humanity back. But it starts at the personal level. You have to adjust yourself inwardly in order to have those benefits outwardly.
Okay, so we're going to bring some pictures of your app up onto the screen now. And then can you give me an example on a day-to-day basis how you might be, all right, let's look at this app and what am I going to do to help me with this situation? Can you just give me an example?
For sure. So, the first chapter is like overcoming fear. So the first thing that you want to do is to just understand how you've made mistakes or your past mistakes have impeded you from doing the things that you wanted to do, from achieving your goals. How did your biases, how did your inability to connect with people, to ask for what you wanted, to challenge yourself, impede you from doing what you wanted? And so in that lesson, there's lesson and there's research that supports that in the lesson of the reading, but then there's homework that you have to do where you fill out a thought bubble that says, how has your fear impeded you? What did you need to do? What did you learn from that lesson? And how could you use those learnings going forward? And then there's a lot of self-reflection. There's journaling. We know that journaling really does help build capacity around a number of key leadership competencies. So we really wanted to bring that into the app in 15 different modules.
So to me, from everything that you're describing, it seems like what is essential in order for this app to be relevant to you or beneficial to you is you need to be, how am I an issue within this situation? Like what do I need to work on, right? All right, so if, sorry, we're running out of time here. If anyone wants to get the app, where do they go?
They go to selinacc.ca. So that's CELINACC.ca. And it's right, you'll find it there.
All right. If they go into the App Store on using iPhone.
The App Store, Google Play. So when you go to the website, you'll see Maximizing You, and you can pick the App Store or Google Play, and it'll be there.
Oh, beautiful. Selena, thank you so much for, it was wonderful having you on the show.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
We'll be right back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Your mouth can do a lot of amazing things. And your mouth can save a life.
Hi, I'm Tom Wong. I'm just one of close to 1,000 Canadians in search of a stem cell match. We need your help.
A simple swab is all you need to register on the National Stem Cell Database. You could be the one to save a life. Find the hero in you.
Think it's too late to become more fit? Think again. I'm personal trainer Karen Ross, and my mission is to help you take control and find your way back to health and wellness. Tune in to A Little Bit Fit with me, Karen Ross, here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So with me now on the show is Alison Hector Alexander, who is the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Durham region. Alison, how are you?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
Good. It's wonderful to have you on the show. You and your department have been doing lots of events in honor and celebration of Black History Month. And I would love it for you to educate the community, some of the events that you've been doing and how they can actually maybe access some of the celebrations.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to. We have been hosting through the region some really great events in recognition and celebration of Black history and Black History Month this year. Our first two events actually kicked off on the same day on February 1st. And so we were very honored and privileged to have the Honorable Dr. Jean Augustine join us for the organization event. And we just had an opportunity to learn from her about the work that she did in being to be able to get Black History Month recognized in Canada. And then in the evening, and we also had some really great entertainment as well. And in the evening, we kicked off Together We Rise, which is a collaborative effort with Durham Regional Police Services and other community organizations, including Durham One, the Congress of Black Women, Oshawa Whitby chapter, the Power to Be International, and the Canadian Jamaican Club of Oshawa. Mm-hmm.
Oh, beautiful. So if anyone wanted to get a feel for the experience of the Together We Rise, is there an opportunity, a video or anything that they can access?
Yes, and that is available on Rogers. And this year we had the opportunity to celebrate healthcare workers here in Durham region, those who persevered and have been resilient throughout the pandemic. And so we were able to celebrate a physician, we were able to celebrate a paramedic, an advanced care paramedic, a registered nurse, and a healthcare leader, and the president of the Jamaican Canadian Association of Nurses. And so that link is available, the video is available, and we encourage community to take some time and take a look at it and just explore and get a sense of the celebration this year, given we're in the pandemic.
Beautiful. All right. So if they go to Rogers TV YouTube channel and then they type in Together We Rise, they'll be able to find that quite easily.
Yeah. Absolutely. That is also on the region side as well and on DRPS's side.
Beautiful. Okay, so what are some of the other events that you've been hosting?
Yeah, so interestingly, on February 17th, we hosted a Black Excellence event. And so we're talking about, how are Black communities thriving, how are Black communities doing well. A lot of time, we do focus on the experiences of discrimination or trauma and violence, but we also want to talk about, how folks are giving back in community and doing very well in community and what equity in itself looks like, for Black communities. We've been sharing a significant amount of resources with employees within the organization to learn a little bit more about Black history. And we've also been celebrating employees as well. And so one initiative that we had is a page from my book, and we had an employee who just spoke about their own journey and their experience being a resident here in Durham. And on February 28th, we'll be wrapping up celebrations and speaking to just Black history and how we continue to celebrate Black history throughout the rest of the year.
Beautiful. Now, tell me, what is the title of your book? You can't just throw that out and leave it.
Right. Well, you know what? The title of my book is just, the experience, right? The great experience of being a resident here, and the recognition that, here in Durham, we have a significant, population in our Black communities. Ajax has the largest population of Black folks, in Canada, right? And so, that page from my book is around thriving. It's around creating space. It's around holding space and centering, Black voices. And celebrating, right? Celebration not only of race, but celebration of all those unique identities that we bring forward. So it is that page will be excellent.
Yay! All right. So if people want to find out more about the events and maybe get involved next year too, they can go to the Durham Region website. They can also go to the Rogers TV YouTube channel. And how do they find your book?
They can also find us at durham.ca/diversity, and they can find all the information there.
Sweet. Okay, awesome. I'm glad you told me about that. All right. So thank you so much. It was such a pleasure meeting with you, Allison, and thanks for sharing all the education, the celebration, and the love.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Take care.
Okay, we'll be right back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
The world's most famous Canadian, Grey Owl, just back from a triumphant British tour, is to be a reluctant guest at a gathering of First Nations.
Archie, you may not realize this, but right now you are the most famous Red Indian in the world. These are your people. You have to be there. Come on, Harold, let's go.
Sure, I'm sure. His name is Archie Bellany, and if he's a Red Indian, I'm the King of China.
It is an honor to meet the man called Grey Owl, who has brought much respect for our people.
Imposter, rascal, dreamer, and yet the Englishman who called himself Grey Owl awoke the whole world to our vanishing wilderness.
My brother says, men become what they dream. You have dreamed well.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So with me now on the show is Jalen Smerrick, who is an elite hockey player. And right now he's coming to us from Germany. Jalen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So Jalen, right now you are playing for the Bietenheim Steelers in Germany. That's very exciting.
Yeah. It's been, a bit of a culture shock, but, Germany is a really nice place, and, I'm enjoying the life here.
Do you know how to count to 10 in German?
No, I don't even know how to count to 1.
Okay, at the end of the interview, I'll teach you at least to 10. Not that that's going to be helpful, but how many beers in order, right? All right, so I understand you played for the Oshawa Generals. How was your time on that team?
Oh, it was great. I actually loved Oshawa. I still come back all the time and see my billets. The Treatises, they're great people. Um, and I just, for me, leaving Oshawa was kind of a bittersweet moment. I did want to play closer home when I moved to Flint, but I also did really love it in Oshawa. And, it made, my transfer from, America to Canada as a young kid a lot easier. And I enjoyed all the people that I met, and, it was such a great place. And it was just a great city all around, and I think that's why, I still come back to visit, and, that's why I still enjoy it every time I go back. So.
Nice. That's awesome. Now, it is Black History Month, and I think it's really important for us to share that there's still racism out there. It's still very much prevalent. And I understand you had an experience in the Ukraine. Do you want to talk to the community about that?
Yeah. I was just in a game, trying to stick up for my teammate. I didn't like what the guy on the other team was doing. So his response to me was kind of just, he did like a racial gesture of a monkey peeling a banana, or eating a banana or whatever you want to call it. So that was kind of like a shock to me. I actually didn't like really catch it on the ice completely. I kind of caught like the end of it, but it was a little weird for me because I've never, experienced something like that, or, I never thought that someone would do something like that, especially not on the ice. So at first, like, it didn't really click in my head, but when I seen the video after, like, it triggered me to another level, that I don't even, want to think about. But it was just a tough experience. Just seeing yourself in a situation like that, I think it was the biggest thing in the world, right after the game. It's blowing up all over social media, and we know how big social media is nowadays. And just to kind of be on the face of that image, with your name out there like that is, it's just kind of embarrassing. So I tried to do, the best thing that I could do, and turn it into something positive, and stand up for myself, and stand up, for just African Americans, and, just minorities in the game of hockey, and, try to be a leader, and, show these young kids, that you're going to go through some things like this, but, you just have to keep pushing and be strong so you can push through it. And at the end of the day, if you push through that, the person who does this is going to be the bad person in the end, because if you react, then you're the bad person.
Yeah, thank you so much for being as brave as you are, and for standing in your power and speaking your truth, and helping other Black Canadians, Black Americans. Like, I'm sure this has gone even beyond North America, but helping them to, stand in their power and speak their truth. And the more we can educate people out there about those distortions of perceptions, because that's what they are, right? Like, it doesn't matter the color of our skin. We're people, we're people living our own lives, and we all have beautiful, amazing uniqueness and diversity. Right. So I thank you for turning this into something powerful. I think it's wonderful that you're getting the word out there.
Thank you.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's all you need to know, and got it made in Germany.
Yeah, I got, I don't know, one of the North American guys said something like, what is it, half Schwanzig or something like that, and like like a German person got like really mad at him. It was like, you can't say that, like that's not allowed. So I mean, that's about the only thing I know about the time right now. So I'm gonna have to remember those numbers.
All right, perfect. It was a pleasure talking to you, and thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll be right back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
When an impaired driver killed my brother DJ, some people used the A word. They called it an accident, but it wasn't. An accident implies that no one was at fault. But when someone impaired by alcohol and/or drugs chooses to drive, they're fully responsible for the crash that can result. So please, for the memory of my brother DJ and the thousands of families whose lives have been shattered by impaired drivers, let's drop the A word.
A crash caused by impaired driving is not an accident.
My daughter is 7 years old and has a frenemy. They have play dates that always end up in a fight or tears. This friend bosses her around and treats her poorly, but she still wants to be her friend. What's a parent to do?
I would let them acquiesce to a certain amount, and then, when they're at this age, you still need to be supervising their play dates. So I might step in, not to correct the bossy child, but it's my child that I'm concerned about. I would just expose her to other people, teach her to have a voice, and let her know that she's got options.
Okay. Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So I not only have Chewy and Gracie, but even more important, I have Linton Gardner, who is the Director of Sales and Marketing for blackbiblio.com. Linton, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Jackie, for having me.
Well, I think this is a wonderful opportunity for us to tell the community about these amazing educational resources, these kits that you've been putting together. And is it specifically for Black History Month to bring to the schools?
Well, actually, no, it's not specifically for Black History Month. This is called the ABCs of Canadian Black History. And we've actually subtitled it as A Journey of Discovery into Canadian History, because it's a history that you don't know. As a matter of fact, we are been involved with the Rogers Sports and Media All In campaign, and we have a campaign on now called Think You Know Canada's Story? Well, think again. And we believe that the information that we have contained in the kit, which is 26 stories of either a person, place, or an event where the Black community has contributed significantly to the history of Canada, and so that you can put it in any period of your discussions in your history curriculum, whether we're talking about Confederation, the War of 1812, the arrival of the Samuel de Champlain, or the First and Second World Wars. We have individuals, places, or events that correspond to those timelines so that you can slot it right into what you're teaching in your regular curriculum.
Beautiful. Now, have all the school boards gotten on board to embrace these additional resources?
Well, a lot have. Actually, in the Toronto area, we've really done really well in this last year in terms of getting it into a number of school boards. We are certainly been doing it as well in Quebec, and we've even been selling some out west and in PE Island, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia as well. So the word is starting to get out that this is a tremendous resource to be able to tell parts of the stories that you were not told, that you were not taught, during your education.
That's beautiful. So just really briefly, what does this kit look like? What would a school expect if they received it?
Well, if they received the kit, they would get, actually it's something that's directed towards the teachers, because we can't expect the teachers to know this information either. So there's a teacher's text and a teacher's guide. The text has the individual stories letter by letter. So for each letter of the alphabet, there's a person, place, or event that we talk about. Then we come inside that, and when the teacher will look at them, when they open up the book, there's a real lesson plan that's right there for them. They can follow who the character is, and then there's a whole comprehension page about questions that ask about the character, what they were doing, and how they fit into the context of Canadian history. Secondly, we have a guide for the teachers that has a glossary of terms, so that they can understand and how properly to teach about blackface or manumission or slavery, whatever the topic is, that they can properly inform their students and create discussion. As well, there are games inside there, along with activity sheets. Amongst them, there's a bingo sheet, because we have also playing cards. about all the characters and the events that you can distribute to your students, and you can use them to play there's one called the Black Olympics. There, we have the bingo game. We have matching games that will allow you to match the person with their profession or where the event took place.
Beautiful. So, Linton, it sounds like a huge resource, and this must cost a significant amount of money in order to supply these to the schools. So, I understand community members can make donations to bring this kit to the school and the teacher of their choice. Is that correct?
Yes, they can. If they go to blackbiblio.com, which is BLACBIBLIO.com, they will see a section where they can donate to their favorite school. There might be an alumni. The child might go to the school, and then it goes into the library, which then will be able to be utilized by the entire school. So whether you're elementary school, high school, whether you're a private or public school, and this is the kind of information that will supplement the information. And as well, there is also a guide to show you how it corresponds to, say, for instance, the Ontario Education Plan, what they require teachers to teach in terms of, cross-cultural competencies, liberal arts, and the like.
Wonderful. Linton, thank you so much for your time. So that's blackbiblio.com. Thank you for being on the show. We'll be right back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Hello, Glenn Ward here for Knights of Columbus TV Bingo. Every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, right here on Rogers TV, your chance to win up to $5,000 with all proceeds going to local charities. Come play Knights of Columbus TV Bingo right here on Rogers TV.
On the next episode of Cinema Scene, content creator Andrew Feigl zooms in to discuss Letterboxd, movie burnout, and the most anticipated films of 2022.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So that is a wrap, and thank you so much for watching our Black History Month special. Now, I also want to thank our special guests for being on the show. So thank you so much to Selena Caesar Chavan for being on the show, Linton Gardner, for Allison, Hector Alexander, and for Jalen Smerrick for being on the show. So thank you so much. If you would like to be on Uxbridge Scugog Life, simply send us an email, uxbridgescugoglife@rci.rogers.com. Next week, we'll have a whole bunch more for you to watch, so make sure you're tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line. Email us or connect with us on social media.
I never thought I'd know that feeling. To be in love. Because for us, it was a crime. Someone had to respond to the tabloids. So I wrote letters, challenging every misconception about homosexuality. 9 homes, 7 dogs, 47 years together, and still not spouses under the law. So we took our fight to the Supreme Court.
Jim Egan and Jack Nesbitt await a verdict on their fight for